Hello there, I'm Weed from Ambulance Studio, and today I'm going to introduce you 10 legendary PC games that can also be played on your mobile device, but only on iOS and Android. Windows Phone users are not allowed. Does anyone still using that crap?
Oh. Anyway, let's get started. First on our list is Hotline Miami, the game that brings GTA 1 and 2 techniques in a different light. A light of a fictional Miami in the outrun rope full of killing maniacs. If I have to liken Hotline Miami to something, I will definitely choose Sin City and Clockwork Orange. But don't get me wrong, these three titles coincide only in the dystopian core, and stylization is diametrically different. Hotline Miami was developed by two Swedish friends, Jonathan Sandstrom and Dennis Wedin. This game was their first real project, which moreover must have succeeded, because they were running out of money. As you may know, Hotline Miami was a global success, and their studio called Denaton Games made enough money to make the second chapter with the subtitle Wrong Number. Now a little bit about the story. At the beginning of the game you woke up lonely in your flat and something makes an annoying noise. What is that? Of course, the phone is ringing. You answer the phone and on the other side is an unfamiliar voice that wants you to go and kill some people, but he's telling it in strange phrases. In indirect phrases, but that doesn't matter. Both sides know what your character have to do. Your duty is to visit all places which you were told on the telephone and turn them into the bloodbaths. During this story, your character strives to find out who leaves him messages and who he works for. The last and most crucial category is definitely gameplay. It is what makes Hotline Miami so awesome. Hotline Miami belongs to a subgenre called run and gun, with the point of view based high above your character. At the start of every mission, you have to choose from the collected masks that give you special forces. You are starting with the Richard or the Rooster mask, which grants you no bonuses. After choosing a mask, you have to kill everybody in the area. Killing methods are up to you. Door, bare hands, and throws knock enemies on the ground, which allows you to finish them. Melee weapons kills enemies on the short distance without luring more enemies, and guns do the opposite. Best way to clear levels is to plan every move you are going to do. All mistakes will cost you your life, after which you have to repeat the whole area. In the end of every level is a chart that evaluates your killing speed, noise, and efficiency. Hotline Miami is an art, and like every art, it is not for everyone. This game will fulfill you with many awesome moments, but also the strange ones. For me, it is the best waiting option on my phone. Just put on my headphones, start a level, and enjoy the mixture of unique gameplay and magnificent music. Just listen to this level. The second game on our list is Don't Starve, one of the indie legends that takes survival genre on another level. In Don't Starve, you have to manage everything from food to body temperature. The game is shrouded in the atmospheric reminiscent of Tim Burton movies combined with messy drawing stylization. And if you are searching for a game that built every gaming aspect from scratch, Don't Starve is the right option. Don't Starve is the most successful game of Clay Entertainment, which is from my perspective fabulous studio with rich history, and their behavior towards the customers is on another level. If you buy one of their games, I'm pretty sure you are going to have a free new content for next year's. Story in Don't Starve is not so important. Nonetheless, it didn't affect the quality of all storylines. Don't Starve developers mix funny behavior of characters with spooky and unfriendly world. The execution of the story in Don't Starve reminds me Dark Souls, because more you are playing and focusing on the little details, the more you are getting the big picture. Every character was put into the world of Don't Starve differently. For example, first playable figure, Wilson, will dark turtle into this world because he was manipulated by a dark voice on the radio. After your character wakes to the Don't Starve world, Maxwell appears to tell you, "Say, pal, you don't look so good. You'd better find something to eat before night comes." Don't worry, in-game the monologue is without my voice. To name every mechanic in the game, that would be until tomorrow. And that is a good watch time. So, you can grab a flower, you can feed your beefalo, you can use Mandragore to sleep and heal.
Stop right there, criminal scum!
Just kidding. Your main concern is to take care of your hunger, sanity and health. To do that, you have to instantly finding food, killing food, and finding ways to manage it. To keep sanity, you have to stay away from dark and damage. Also, the dark creatures, like spiders, lower sanity of all characters except Webster. And to keep your health bar full, you just need to be smart and keep distance from damage. Most characters dislike fights and are weak. If you are into a challenging survival environment, this game should be your pick. The phone edition of Don't Starve is well made, and the originality of gameplay mixed with the playful design will give you an unforgettable moments. However, the repetition of gameplay can get you bored, because every time you die in classic mode, you have to play again from the beginning, which is frustrating. Now let's switch from survival to more emotional topic. Life is Strange is so unique experience that you can reach anywhere else, and I don't know how it happened, but it made me cry like a baby. Behind Life is Strange series stands French studio Don't Know, that is famous for making story-based games, from most of them are adventures. So it's typically all about the story, which is not wrong in this case. First game of this company was Remember Me, which is funny because nobody remember it. And since then, their all games are based on Unreal Engine. As I said earlier, story is main reason to play Life is Strange, primarily because it is very unusual environment full of unexpected twists. If I want to spoil it, I have to sketch the story briefly. So, you take on the role of Max, which is 12th grade student on photography college. She newly graduated from high school and now she's moving back to her hometown. The story is telling us every detail about young and unpopular Max. As player, you get really stuck into mind of teenage girl who is full of melancholic thoughts, depression and other hard to explain feelings. Everything is getting even weirder when Max reaches the time travel ability and after she starts dreaming of a big tornado in Arcadia Bay. There is nothing really special on gameplay, because it is not what this Life is Strange focuses on. Still, it has everything that a good adventure should have. You can freely move, read notes, inspect, and manipulate with objects, and if you come across a character, you can ask questions. The dialogues feel pretty real, so don't worry, it is not Oblivion 2.0. Your main ability is to rewind time, which is triggered by pressing R. If you hold it longer, you are going further into the past, which allows you to discover every details you are searching for. Life is Strange is just a proof that you can make awesome game based on anything. Every aspect of this game fits well, and if you are bored of casual soulless online games, or you just want to discover new experiences from the comfort of home, Life is Strange is right for you.
Migratory animals living under changing weather.
You haven't heard of Dead Cells? Let's fix it, because if you played all Castlevania, you are going to love Dead Cells. In 2018, little studio called Evil Empire, with co-production of Motion Twin, released Dead Cells. Game that chose to be pixel art. I am not kidding, the game is made in 3D and then pixelized into final form. Dead Cells itself falls under Metroidvania genre, which is combination of mentioned Castlevania and Metroid. The game is procedurally generated, which means that you never join the same room twice. Games like Dead Cells are the absolute opposite of games like Life is Strange, which means the story here doesn't matter much. Still, it is good to have one. At the beginning of Dead Cells, you wake up in prison next to the giant skeleton and you have to find your way out, which is really easy, because this location is your starting point whenever you die. You are discovering once mighty kingdom over which the plague called Malaise swept. Virus killed the majority of population and made zombies from the rest. Your only hope is to find alchemists that can cure this disease. Oh well, now the section where Dead Cells excels. Thanks to the 3D template, our movements are fluid and combat feels realistic within the limits of possibilities for this type of game. Let's get to the core. After every run, you can upgrade your stats, accessories, abilities, and weapons, or discover new ones for points you collected in the dungeon. Your character is starting every run with basic sword, and you can choose secondary weapon in prison. Then it is only up to your luck if you are going to find better items. Your character can hold 2 main weapons at a time, and 2 additional items between bombs, turrets, etc. You are also equipped with a health potion and minimap. That in the dungeon is permanent, and your body is transferred back to prison after you die. I must point out the environments and diversity between enemies. I just love to play Dead Cells on my mobile. You don't even need sound. And if you have only a few minutes, it doesn't matter. You just stop it and return to your run later. Dead Cells is just fabulous return to times of Castlevania. I will try to be unbiased, but let me tell you straight, The Darkest Dungeon is one of my most favorite games. The way you can play this piece and still be surrounded by challenge is just fabulous, and I have to say The Darkest Dungeon is even better on the mobile device. The game comes from the hands of Red Hook Studios, which is an indie game developers group based in Vancouver. The studio was founded in 2013, so it's one of the freshest studios between our reviewed games. The idea behind Darkest Dungeon was to develop a hardcore roguelike game where you can explore dangerous dungeons full of shadows and monsters. As you can tell right from the opening scene, the story is raw and dark. In this opening scene, you inherited Manor after your ancestor who was notorious by exploring dungeons. As a player, you have 2 main locations, your manor and dungeons. In manor, you can hire new recruits, heal your party members, and buy new items. Also, improve your heroes or spend accessories acquired in the dungeons to improve town services. After you decide explore the dungeon, you get to the second screen. Decisions on this screen are more than 50% of dungeon success. Here, you need put together a group of heroes, give them items you found, buy them support accessories like torches and bandages, then choose a dungeon you want to explore. In the dungeon, you mainly have to take care of Torchlight, because it is giving you an advantage over your enemies. Then, you have to take care of the health and sanity of heroes, which are reduced by traps, darkness, and enemies, and can be restored by special items or abilities. After you come across some dungeon enemies, the combat windows pop up, and you have to combine your hero's abilities to kill them. Every character has 4 actions. All of these actions have many effects and are great for different situations. During the combat, you can also move your characters forward and backwards, or dope your characters with potions, ointments, and bandages. From my perspective, Darkest Dungeon is very complex, but dragging every feature gradually, so you have enough time to adapt. Nonetheless, don't expect easy handling. This is old hardcore stuff, and further you are in the story, the less it is fair. From hardcore to casual, placing Minecraft on the list should come as no surprise. In one period, Minecraft was literally everywhere, and no wonder. This game is the best digital adaptation of LEGO ever made. You just create your world, and then do whatever you want. History of Minecraft is rich as my morning coffee. Notch started developing Minecraft in the previous decade, but officially this sandbox creation was released in December 2010, and since then it's earned unissued popularity. In 2014, Notch left Mojang, the company behind the Minecraft, and sold it to Microsoft for unbelievable $2.5 billion. Today Minecraft is optimized on almost every platform and it became more like a cult game, whose followers build gorgeous things and buy Minecraft inspired accessories like creeper head or mug or torchlights. Some fans even created the entire planet on a 1-to-1 scale. We can skip this section because Minecraft doesn't have a story or story mode. You are just placed into the endless world to make your own story. Of course you can find some Easter eggs and after you kill a dragon the ending screen appears. However, after that, you can still continue on your adventure. What Minecraft doesn't have in a story replaces with gameplay. The game that is doing well for a decade on the market cannot be bad. Nowadays there are tons of features, functions, mechanics and professional or amateur mods in Minecraft. So you can simply change gameplay to a form you like. Still, in a classic mode, where you are mortal, the rules are simple. You need to get something to eat and find a place to hide before the night comes. Everything you see in Minecraft, except bedrock, can be destroyed, picked or manipulated. This boxy legend is joyful on any device, and I only wish to forget Minecraft just to play it again for the first time. If you lived in the cage for past 10 years and never played this piece, definitely try it. Now something more indie. The Escapist is one of my favorite respite games that can be played everywhere. The lovely 2D graphic giving this game its heart and unique mechanics toward prison escape make it joyful. I always hope in cooperation between Escapist and Prison Architect, where one player would build a prison and second try to escape it. I think this idea will never happen. Still, these both games are great 2D projects. Behind the Escapist stands indie studio Team 17, which was formed in 1990. This studio has a lot of popular pieces on their account. The most famous one is Worms series. You can ask why I didn't pick this classic instead the Escapist, and the answer is simple. It is not so good on mobile. There is no story in the Escapist, only if you count prison intros and bios, but that is short description. Then everything else is pure gameplay. The Escapist begins after you choose a prison. Specific prisons determine the level of difficulty. So, you are in prison, and as every prison, also this pixel art one has strict system. You have to wake on time, be on the assembly on time, and eat on time. However, your only purpose in this game is to escape from that prison. To do that, you can use every imaginable method, but still, be very careful, because there are many guards and other prisoners in your way. The Escapist mechanics are simple. You can attack enemy by clicking on him in attack mode, move by clicking on display, learn new skills in library, gain strength in the gym, and craft useful things from collected items. Both chapters, the Escapist Prison Escape and Escapist 2 Bucket Breakout, are solid mobile games, and it is one of my most favorite series where you think less and just enjoying gameplay. Of course, these strategies will take you time. Nonetheless, this challenge is for everyone thanks to the difficulty levels. Back to mainstream. I remember Hearthstone Science Beta, and I almost got the beta access. Nonetheless, some kid on the conference was faster. So, I waited for public release and then began my addiction on this Warcraft based card game. Blizzard take this genre and simplify it for everyone. Some time passed and I stopped to play Hearthstone on my PC. Then was released the mobile version and I was caught again. The whole history of Blizzard is goddamn long. And as you may know, the Warcraft is the most popular series of this company, and it is the core of Hearthstone, because all heroes, characters and common creatures are from the world of Warcraft. Hearthstone itself started in March 2014 and was produced by Ben Proud, Jason Chase, Eric Dodds, and designed by Derek Sakamoto and Mike Donais. One interesting development thing is that Hearthstone was made with Unity, which is free-based engine service, and it is very unusual that Unity is used by big companies like Blizzard. Hearthstone in common can be played without a story. Nonetheless, if you are into the world of Warcraft, every card has its own legend, and you can also play adventure mode where you are going to be introduced to Naxxramas Dungeon, Blackrock Mountain, the League of Explorers, Karazhan, and more. All of the adventure modes are based on the existing World of Warcraft dungeons, but in a few past years, the Hearthstone crew started experimenting with stories and created their own storylines. For example, look at the Rise of Shadows extension. Hearthstone is easy to start, or I have to say was easy to start, because now you have many extensions with the new cards that from my perspective destroying gameplay for newbies. Anyway, after you start, you can use only basic cards that everybody else owns. By playing challenges, doing quests, or just playing, you are earning golds and card packages. Every extension has its own card package, and the feeling of opening these packages can be compared to loot boxes. These openings gives you new cards, with which you can improve your deck. The cards are divided by color. Most common ones have grey and blue color, and are the core of all decks. And the rarest, or I have to say legendary, has orange color and can be used in pairs. In classic mode, you can have 30 cards in your deck. Hearthstone also has 10 heroes, with different special cards and abilities. After you make your first deck and choose your hero, you can enter the classic or wild mode. On the battle screen, your main focus has to be on mana. It is the alpha and omega of this game, because it determines which cards or spells can be played. Cards are played by dragging them on the battlefield. All heroes have 30 HP, and to win the game you have to take them to your enemy. Sounds easy, huh? But if you mix it with special abilities of your cards, secrets, and many game mechanics, it starts to be challenging. Hearthstone is my VC routine game. All matches are separated, so you have to focus on Hearthstone only when you're playing it. The game can be confusing in the beginning, however, I think it is the most enjoyable way to improve your logical thinking. If you ever wonder where started the trend of story-based first-person shooters like BioShock, Far Cry or Call of Duty, the answer is Half-Life. Game that ruled the world twice with its breathtaking gameplay and story that was not common before. I'm sure that you heard about Valve, creators of Steam, the platform with best game deals. Just kidding. Nowadays, Valve keeps running only a few their games, like CSGO and Dota 2. However, in the past, Valve was famous by creating the most original pieces, as mentioned Half-Life 2. Half-Life 2 story follows Half-Life, so if you didn't play Half-Life yet, just skip to gameplay. The story of Half-Life 2 takes place a few years after the first chapter, where Gordon accidentally opened a portal to a dimension full of hostile aliens, and then killed the Nylons, thereby cleansing them from evil power. In Half-Life 2, aliens and humans are already living side by side. However, a new enemy called Combine is a multidimensional empire that ruled the world in just 7 hours. Gordon was awoken into this world under Combine by a mysterious G-Man, and he has to save the world before this invasion. Half-Life mechanics are masterful. Everything is based on a physical engine, so puzzles will really try you. Every must counts, and even games today can catch the perfection of Half-Life 2. This game is a standard first-person shooter where you have to take care of your ammo, health and shield. You can also manipulate with many items and drive vehicles. You are starting with your old suit and crowbar, and reaching new weapons and abilities by playing the main story. Another significant aspect of Half-Life are enemies that are grouping against you and use inventive tactics to get you. For example, in one mission they are constantly throwing exploding barrels at you while you are trying to escape from sewage. Half-Life 2 is the legend on which many games are built, like Counter-Strike or Left 4 Dead, and now you can play it also on your mobile phone. So if you haven't discovered the streets of City 17 yet, go and fix this mistake. You will not regret it. The last game is the most famous game of Today Instinct Studio Telltale Games. Many people dislike Telltale for their fake story choices, and I have to agree that in many games these choices are really frustrating, even though the character development of the first Walking Dead will get you to your knees. The Walking Dead is a game based on the same name comic series. The studio behind this game was founded in 2004. However, they did just a small project before The Walking Dead. Retrospectively, we could say this particular series started their success. After The Walking Dead, Telltale continued making only adventures games based on famous TV series, comics, games, or movies, something like Lego games. In the end, the studio was infamous by making fake choices and burned out. But before they finished this hilarious Walking Dead series. The story is typical for Walking Dead series, but keep in mind that the game draws from comics, not from TV series. You are playing for a guy named Lee. In the intro, you are taken into the prison for murder, but your car crashed and you are introduced to the first zombie. Everything started to be emotional after you met 8 years old Clementine, and you decide to take care of her. The dynamics in this game are incredible, and even enemies are like from the real world. Nobody can be trusted, and in the end, zombies are not the biggest danger. As with most story-based games, the gameplay is in second place, maybe in third place, after music and dialogues. The Walking Dead is more like an interactive movie than a game. If you are talking to someone, you have dialogue choices, or you can be quiet. Besides cutscenes and dialogues, you also have action and puzzle-solving sections, where you can use limited inventory and manipulate with surrounding objects, and click event section for combats and escapes. If you are into the world of Walking Dead, and you are watching TV series or you are reading Walking Dead comics, this game is must play for you. Otherwise, my first experience with Walking Dead was this game, and I enjoyed it anyway. Until today, it is one of my favorite series. An option to play it on my mobile phone while I'm waiting is just awesome.
Okay, that's all for today's video. Leave us a comment, let us know what you want to see in the future. If you enjoyed, give us a like. If you want to see more, hit the subscribe. And until next time.